Hey folks, Trubie here again to talk to you about Dice Masters. This past weekend we had our Cube draft event with AVX and I thought it went great. We used my draft pack maker, which is now available on dp.dicecoalition.com. It's putting the things together. I found that the hardest part was the dice, so I added to the bottom a dice count. Well, it's a card count, and it has the number of dice you need if you're doing a single draft, or number of dice you need if you're doing a double rainbow draft. So I think that helps a lot. So yeah, just still ironing out little issues as I find them, but I'd say the draft pack maker is good to go. Go check that out, give it a shot. We had a Gabi and a Serena in the event. It was pretty awesome playing with all those dice again, all those cards again. Gabi and Serena did not win the event, though. My wife, Melissa, took it down with Johnny Storm, an old card near and dear to my heart, along with Hawkeye, the 3-cost Hawkeye. She ended up drafting 3 of them, so had 6 Hawkeye dice, got out Johnny Storm, and just kept on fielding Hawkeyes, pinging things off, and getting through for some good damage. So, yeah, that worked out great for her. And, yeah, the Serena ended up coming in second, I believe. But, you know, I actually pulled the Gabi, but I've played with it before. I knew how it worked. I passed it to the kid next to me so he could play with it because I knew he'd never seen it before. He was super excited, and then I told him that he didn't get to keep it. So but that was it was a great day, a lot of fun. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I'll probably be doing it again sometime in the near future. But today we are going to be talking about the Yuan-Ti Pureblood. If you're on any of the online Facebook groups, DMU, D Unlimited, Dice Masters Unlimited, Dice Masters discussions, people are talking about this team, saying it's a new impossible thing to beat. It's broken. Yes, it is a nasty team, and I'm going to go over just like the major pieces of it because we haven't really seen this locally. I actually think I might be the only person locally who has all the pieces for this. And I'm not going to bring it, because that's just the way I roll. But still, I don't think any of our locals are going to any of the WKOs, but some of you out there might be. So I thought I'd just go over it, let you see what it looks like, at least half of it, and let you get ready for it, at least try to get ready for it. So let's go over here to my handy dandy overhead view. So our pieces here, actually let me try to bring up a web display and try to cheat a little bit with the cards because it's hard to read them as is. Yeah, let's try this. And let me slide this over a little bit so it's a little easier to read. So hopefully you can read this. So yeah, the Yuan-Ti Pureblood. She's the all-star for this thing. And yeah, she has a tune. So while this character is active, when you use an action die, deal 1 damage to target player or character die. And she also has the special ability that while Yuan-Ti Pureblood is active, when you purchase an action die, trigger the attune ability of all active character dice. So if she and another different character with attune are out, both of their attune abilities would trigger just from purchasing a die, an action die. But also if you have an attune character out and your opponent purchases a Yuan-Ti Pureblood, or purchases a action die while the Yuan-Ti Pureblood is active, your attune also triggers and deals damage to your opponent, or to a character die. That's another thing to remember. With attune, it can go to the player or a character. So that's one thing we're going to go over here in a little bit. The other important piece to this is the Cosmic Cube. Let me bring that up here. And this was from the Guardians of the Galaxy set. When an action die or character ability deals damage this turn, increase that damage by 2. So you have a tune, and then you use the Cosmic Cube. That increases all damage done by abilities by 2. So actually just using the Cosmic Cube while the Yuan-Ti Pureblood is active deals 3 damage. That's a little unpleasant. Then you add on top of that, when you buy stuff, all of a sudden when you are buying action dice, you're dealing damage to your opponent, and if it's increased by 2, you're dealing 3 damage. And that's why they are likely to have a cheap 1-cost basic action like Improvised Weapon, which is a 1 cost from Tomb of Annihilation. It's also okay for getting damage through, but they're probably going to use it mostly for Yuan-Ti Pureblood. And that's a roll a die from a use pile. If it rolls a character face, target character gets plus X attack, where X is the rolled face's attack. If it rolls energy face, just prep a die from your bag, return it, the rolled die to your use pile. They also might couple this with another like one cost action on their team. They might have, let's see if we can get it up here, Bat Signal, which is the one cost. Once again, they'd just be buying it. They probably wouldn't be using it for its ability. But, I mean, they could still attack, swing out, and use the continue if they actually use it and have it out, dealing one day or increasing the attack of the Yuan-Ti Pureblood. But using that is very unlikely. But yeah, we'll come back to this here in a little bit. Let me just go through the first couple turns to show you why it gets so disgusting so quick. So, the first turn, on an optimal roll, your opponent is going to get something to this effect, where they're going to have a bolt and a shield. They might have energy fixers to make sure that they get one of these two, so if they roll a sidekick, turn that to a shield or to a bolt. Whatever energy fixture they might have, whatever they need. They might have both energy fixers, because really the other 4 slots are kind of open to do whatever you want with. So in this case, we're going to use a shield to use Reprender's Chalkboard. Sorry, I don't have a die for it. So we're using the action on this, or the global ability on this. The first die you purchase this turn is added to your prep area instead of the use pile. Then you spend 2, and you buy the Yontif Pureblood. So that's over in the prep. Then your opponent takes their turn, yada yada yada, comes back to you, and then say once again another optimum roll. Yontif Pureblood's in there too. So I will now pay 1 to field the Yontif Pureblood. She is on her level 1 face, she's free to field. She's a 2/1. On level 2 face, she's a 3/1. And on level 3 face, she's a 3/3. So level 1, or go to the level 2 face. I paid 1, fielded her, and then I'm going to once again use the Cosmic Cube, or use Reprender's Chalkboard, and purchase the Cosmic Cube. Now, just purchasing it there, my opponent takes the damage. So now we're on. That was only turn 2. Already done damage. Now we're on to turn 3. So we roll our dice. We're going to say we get this here, and we get the Cosmic Cube. So with this, we can go activate Cosmic Cube. So that triggers a tune, and because all damage has been increased by 2, that's 3 damage. So I've taken my opponent down to 16 life. Now I'm going to buy. Well, let's just do as much damage as possible here. I'm going to buy all 3 improvised weapons. So that's going to be 3 damage, down to 13. 3 damage, down to 10. Where's 10 on here? Another 3 damage, down to 7. And if I have that, the Bat Signal, let's go and buy a Bat Signal too. And that's another 3 damage, down to 4 on turn 3. So now, the next turn, your opponent basically just has to, buy 3 more Bat Signals and attack with the Yontif Pureblood. Buy another Cosmic Cube. So really, the better move there probably would have been, instead of buying all the improvised weapons. So let's take a step back. There you got 17. So to guarantee the turn 4 kill, so we'll instead use Reprender's Chalkboard and buy another Cosmic Cube. So that'd be 3 damage. Taking him down to 14. And then we'll buy an improvised weapon, taking him down to 11. Then turn 4. All these dice go back in the bag. I mean, it doesn't even matter really what I draw at this point, just as long as I get that Cosmic Cube out. I'll say we got both Cosmic Cubes, so now it's really disgusting. So say I got both Cosmic Cubes out and rolled this. So, activate Cosmic Cube. That's 3 damage. Down to 8. Activate a second Cosmic Cube. They stack. So now her damage increased by 4. So I take 5 damage from that being activated. I'm down to 3. And I just buy an improvised weapon. Game over. So yes, this is rough. It's kind of ugly, kind of fast, and can take you out real fast. Now, what can you do about this? I've actually been trying to brew against it the last couple days, just trying to figure out what is best to do, what I can do. And let me tell you, I have not come up with a surefire answer yet. But some of the things to notice about this team and what its weaknesses are. Well, first off, the Yontif Pureblood is very small on 2 of her faces. She's got a one defense. So hopefully something like, let me bring up the display capture here again. So hopefully something here like just Magic Missile, pinging her off, using the global to deal 1 damage to target character die. So they field it on turn 2, you hold a bolt it, hope they don't reroll it. So that saves you, gives you a couple turns. You can also just have your own Shriek. So I bring Shriek up. A Shriek Sonic Beam, she's over here as well, so they're going to have their own Shriek. When fielded, choose an opposing character card replacing all previous choices while Shriek is active. That card's text, ignore that card's text, including global abilities. So the way to do that would be on your turn 1. If you rolled like so, go ahead and rip yourself a Shriek, and then hopefully get that out to target their Yuan-Ti Pureblood, and that will buy you some turns and give you enough time to get out more permanent counters, because in order to stop your Shriek, they're going to have to either Magic Missile it off, which would take 2 energy, or they have to get their own Shriek, and they might rip it, but that will buy you at least a turn or 2. And that means they're also not buying Cosmic Cube or something else. That also gives you an opportunity to be KOing their Yontif Pureblood with Magic Missile or something, hoping that they miss the roll and it goes back into the bag and cycles. Let's see. Another thing that is useful against this, the common Scarlet Witch. So while Scarlet Witch is active, during your opponent's roll and reroll step, your opponent must reroll any action dice that land on action phases and cannot reroll any action dice on energy phases. So say they've got the 2 Cosmic Cubes, roll them, they're stuck. They can't reroll those 2 because they're on energy bases. Or they roll them, okay, energy, that one can't be rerolled, this one has to be rerolled. So they have to reroll that. Oh, but it still came up a face. It's not flawless, it's not perfect, but it helps. So where you could have been taking 5 damage, you're now taking 2 instead. Another possible solution, or something you can have on your team, is your own Yontif Pureblood. Not necessarily having the rare, or the super rare, you could go with the common. The common still has a tune, still a 2 cost. The only difference is it doesn't have that when you purchase an action die, deal damage. Instead, when you use an action die, it's unblockable. That's pretty good. It's still very good, very strong. If this Yontif Pureblood didn't exist, I guarantee that other one would be getting played too, because it's still a very good card. So what you can do is if you have your Yontif Pureblood out, they activate Cosmic Cube. Well, when they activate it, they're still going to deal their damage. That doesn't trigger your attune. If they deal the damage to you, your Yontif Pureblood is still in the field. So when they buy something, you can trigger, it'll trigger both Yontif Purebloods. Activating yours will allow you to hit their Yontif Pureblood and take it out if it's on level. Actually, if the damage has been accelerated, then yeah, it's going to take it out no matter what. So that helps you prevent a cascading wave of death. There's also plenty of other attuned characters. There's Andalia, There's the gold dragon, but I don't think you're gonna get that gold dragon out fast enough. But there's several attuned characters in Tomb of Annihilation, so uh, any of those could be viable, especially the cheapest ones. I'm pretty sure the Yontif Pureblood though is the least expensive of all of them. Um, but yeah, once again, I'm not trying to. I don't want to go over and over and over and be super long-winded like I tend to do. I'm trying to keep these relatively short. But is there anything else here I definitely wanted to discuss? No. But yeah, that's the Yuan-Ti Pureblood. It can be pretty nasty. You got to watch out for it. Hopefully, you know, someone comes up with a good solution to taking it out, every time. Just remember, it has the low defense, so something that deals defense when something or deals damage when it's fielded could possibly be helpful, like Huntress or the Penguin. Those are potential options. I was toying with trying to do the Huntress and the Black Cat that doesn't let you field 3 costs, or doesn't let you field characters on their level 3 face, and it was a good idea in theory, but by the time I would get to both Black Cat and Huntress for both 4 costs, they by then would have a Shriek, and all they'd have to do is Shriek the Black Cat. Like if Yontif Pureblood was on level 3, they would just have to, okay, well, I Shriek your Black Cat, and now I field my Hunter, or my Yontif Pureblood. So it didn't quite work out the way I was hoping it would. But yeah, that's why I'm building, why I'm playing around, why I'm trying to figure out the best way to take care of it. Because my kitchen table right now is just awash in dice and cards as I'm building away. Why I'm really worrying about it, I don't know, because I'm not going to any WKOs anytime soon, and by the time I really have to worry about it, we should hopefully have Avengers Infinity, and there's a good chance there could be something in there that will shake things up and help here. But yeah, at the very least, this is what it looks like. I hope this was informative. I hope everyone enjoyed this. I hope my locals don't start bringing this. If someone locally wants to borrow the pieces like once and only once, I might let them. But yeah, I haven't banned anything here yet. I don't think it's necessary yet, but we'll see as things go on. But yeah, there we have it, folks. Yontif Pureblood. She's a monster, obviously. See you guys on Sundays.